Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Even though it's a little stormy out there and it's a stormy day, just like it is with the markets in gold and silver, stormy. No less beautiful. Even the gold and silver markets being stormy is beautiful, and I'll tell you why in a moment, why it's a beautiful thing that we're seeing these lower prices. Meanwhile, what do we have? Well, the reason for these lower prices is, again, simply what we've been talking about for months and months and months now, which is pure and simple monkey hammering. It looks like the gold and silver market did get monkey hammered down again this morning, about the same time it does every time it gets monkey hammered. You can almost spot these things. I mean, it's so obvious. I think we are starting to learn how the game is rigged because they just do the same thing over and over and over. And we had definitely had a a crash in the price of gold and silver this morning. And again, like I said, about the same time we've seen it get monkey hammered for the last actually couple decades. I'm not quite sure what players are doing it, but we definitely know somebody is monkey hammering the price again. And we've got some big issues that are caused because of this. Anyway, I'm going to go into two words today I'd like to discuss, or two things I'd like to discuss, is something called credibility. And credibility, everybody knows what credibility is. I've got a full page of DuckDuckGo here. That's and you know why I like DuckDuckGo, because they don't follow you as far as searches go. I like it way better than Google personally. But anyways, credibility, type in credibility on DuckDuckGo and you come up with this: the quality, capability, or power to elicit belief, the capacity for belief, the capability or condition of being credited or believed. So basically, credibility is really an important thing. Everybody wants to be credible. I mean, when you go to a restaurant, you want to go to a credible restaurant, you know that's serving you safe food that's not poisoned or gone bad or something like that. So credibility applies to all different things, from food to precious metals. When you're buying precious metals, credibility comes into play that the items you're buying are real. What you're buying is a real thing. And that's the issue that we're having today. And this is why precious metal markets are way down today, and why it costs you so much to buy the real gold and silver. You're probably scratching your head when you go out to buy gold or silver bars and say, well, why is it like $170 an ounce more than the price that I'm seeing on the, on my phone or on the screen or on the TV? Well, that's because we've got big issues with credibility going on here, folks, and that's why I wanted to bring up the word credibility. It's a no-brainer. Here's the other thing I wanted to bring up. The second, well, it's actually not a word, it's two words, is price discovery. So we talked about credibility. The next thing, let's talk about price discovery. And what I'm going to talk about is that the price discovery for physical gold has been screwed. It was screwed long ago when all these paper instruments came in, when the ETFs came in, when COMEX doesn't back up contracts with gold or silver. They can pay it off in cash. It's just a big paper market. It's like, say for example, you had, I'm going to just use a round number, 10,000 pounds of gold. Okay, that's all that was left in the whole world. That was all the created. Let's call it 10,000 widgets or whatever you want to call it, 10,000 of something. Let's say 10,000 pounds of gold. That's all that exists in the world. And it's divided amongst everybody. It has great value because there's so little of it, not many people can own it. Some guy comes along and says, well, you know what? Let's take these widgets, or all this 10,000 widgets, or this 10,000 ounces of gold, and let me just start making, creating more of it by taking a piece of paper or digital, electronic zeros and ones, whatever it is. Let's make it digital, or a piece of paper that says this is an ounce of gold. And instead of making 10,000 of them, he makes 100,000 of them, or 1,000,000 of them. Now all of a sudden, there's 1,000,000 pieces of paper that claim that it represents one widget, when in fact it doesn't. So that's kind of, and I hope that made some sense. So what we've really got going on here is we've got issues with credibility and we've got issues with price discovery. And I'm going to do, I love, by the way, when I look up any words, I always try to look at Investopedia, not Wikipedia, because Wikipedia seems to want to add their own political thoughts into everything. So I like Investopedia when it comes up to looking up words like this. Price discovery. Price discovery is the overall process, whether explicit or inferred, of setting the spot price or the proper price of an asset, security, commodity, or currency. The process of price discovery looks at the number of tangible and intangible factors, including supply and demand. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. We're seeing that the prices, the spot prices that we're seeing, these ridiculously low spot prices on gold and silver that we're seeing, have nothing to do with supply and demand, or maybe they do. I think what's happening is all this paper, not real gold, all this paper is actually driving the market, not the actual gold and silver itself. So you've got all this fake paper it's not even real gold. It's just like pretend gold. I don't know what you want to call it, monopoly money, crypto gold, whatever you want to call it. It's not real gold. It's just a bunch of people that think they own real gold, and that's actually what's driving the price here on COMEX, on London, and all these different places. So the price discovery is totally screwed. That's what's screwed. And again, supply and demand. We've got huge demand for physical gold and silver right now. That's why the premiums are so high. Yet the prices are low. Just doesn't make sense, folks. There's something screwed up. There's nothing supply and demand about what is going on right now, if you really think about it. And that's basic economics 101, supply and demand. If there's too much supply, the price comes down. If there's not enough supply, the price goes up. And what it is, we don't have enough supply right now, but the price is going down. What the F is that? I'm sorry, I almost said the F word, but I remembered Marcelo's got to bleep those out. So, hey, did you a favor there, Marcelo. Let's move along to an article that I like to, you should put this on your reading list or put this on your bookmarks. That's what I was looking, the proper word, bookmarks. Bookmark this site, gata.org, G-A-T-A.org. They've been talking about this market rigging for years and years and years, along with another guy, Ted Butler, who's been around for years and has talked about it, and I think is one of the smarter guys on the subject. But if you take a look at the headlines for gata.org today, you'll see FX rigging. Well, they're talking about FX rigging. But, you know, it's not just, it seems like all the markets seem to be rigged out there. And just all around us for some reason, whether it's elections or markets or the justice system. I'm telling you, things seem to be really rigged out there. Everything. I don't know what world I woke up into, but it seems to get worse and worse every year, and the last couple have been terrible. And it looks like it's going to get worse. So anyway, prospectus change frees SLV to detach its price from silver. That's scary. What that means is that SLV is now saying that, here, you can read it right here. We won't read the whole article. I'll just kind of get parts of it. In comments today at King World News, gold money founder and GATA consultant James Turk construes last week's amendment to the prospectus of the exchange-traded fund SLV to mean that the fund, here's the important part, the fund can detach its share price from silver and make the price whatever the managers want it to be. Is that what we're maybe seeing right now? Is that the people that run these markets are actually picking out what they want the market to do? Has it completely detached from supply and demand? I think it has. Again, I think we've got issues right now with the gold and silver market and the prices we're seeing with gold and silver. We've got credibility issues. We've got price discovery issues. And we've got major supply and demand issues. So again, like this gata.org, recommend that you put it on your page up here, your bookmarks. And again, a couple other articles on here that we've probably gone over. We have gone over the week. Silver squeeze hits London as SLV warns of limited supplies. Well, you know what the bullshit about any kind of silver squeeze is? You're never ever gonna squeeze silver or with SLV. Period. SLV is not backed by silver. It's backed by endless pieces of paper that claim that they own silver. I've never seen a true audit, neither has anyone else. So I don't believe that they really, and again, do they own allocated accounts of silver? Do all the SLV and the other ETFs, do they actually have allocated accounts with the silver in their name, or does London or one of the people that hold the silver in their vaults just say, yeah, you got that, when in fact maybe 100 other people have a claim on that same silver? That's been an issue that there has been no clarity on. and credibility on for decades now. And this guy talks about it all the time. Ted Butler. Ted Butler's got to be on your reading list as well, because the game is rigged. Everything in life seems to be rigged at some point, and extremely, it seems more so of late. So, of course, the game is rigged. But you got to play, and if you don't play, you're not going to get anywhere. Which is a kind of saying that I've always liked here. Of course, the game is rigged. Don't let that stop you. If you don't play, you can't win. And as I've said before, markets are rigged. I don't care if it's stock markets, currency markets, whatever market, pottery market, gold and silver markets, and even elections and things. And the justice system, as I said, has been rigged many times. So, but if you don't play, you can't win. And in this world, you have to get ahead somehow. So, and the beauty of this is we know exactly what they're doing now. We figured it out. We know how they've rigged the game. And now we're going to get, you're going to get even that way. And you don't get even by buying paper silver. You don't buy SLV. You don't buy contracts unless you can get delivery on the silver. Let's take a look at Ted Butler crushing the short positions. Ted discusses short positions are challenging for people to understand. How can someone short sell something they don't own, and why there is nothing? Well, he talks about what he's going to talk about on the show. He talks about commercial interests are desperate to keep the price suppressed, and I think that's what we're seeing right here. And this is what we were talking about, where there's big demand. So if there's big demand, why is there such a shortage of, there's big demand for physical gold and silver. Why is the price so low? And this is exactly why, is because commercial interests are desperate to keep the prices suppressed. And Ted Butler's been talking about this for years. He talks about how it's done. Should the prices head much higher, these commercial traders would be in an awful position. He believes they are already out billions of dollars in the gold and silver markets and can't afford to let these metals move higher. Ted is exactly correct. That's why we're seeing the monkey hammering with these spot prices. That's why spot prices are so low and getting the real product, getting real gold and silver is so expensive. Because the commercial traders are monkey hammering these markets. They're manipulating them. And that's why you're seeing lower prices. It has nothing to do with the metal itself. He describes some of the methods they use to suppress the price and why the suppression usually happens at night. Again, what we've been talking about for months and months and months, it happens before we wake up in the morning, and we'll get to that too. We'll look at a few graphs here that I've been showing for, again, months and months and months, and we can see when it happens. That's what I'm saying. We know the game is rigged. We know how it's rigged. Now we can use it to our advantage. They are often buyers on the way down once they get the price headed lower, like today. Lastly, Ted explains how the silver short will eventually be broken and why it will require shortages of large bars that impact the industry. He asked an important question. Where did the 100 million of ounces come from in last week? And why did they get rid of it at such a low price? But anyway, like Ted Butler, highly recommend you watch his, listen to his stuff and watch his videos. So let's move along from here. And as I said, of course the game is rigged. Don't let that stop you. If you don't play, you can't win. And as we know how it's rigged now, folks. We've been watching it. It's clear. It's clear as a bell. Take a look at Zero Hedge here. I didn't see too much as far as articles on gold and silver. All these economic issues affect us, but meanwhile, nothing really crazy. Goldfix, who are the silver shorts, that kind of talks about stuff we've already talked about, so I'm not going to go there. 4 million Texans without power. Wow, that sucks. MicroStrategy, blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin soars above $50,000 for the first time. I was going to talk about Bitcoin here for a little bit, but we're already getting into probably a 20-minute video. So you can take a look at my, and again, noticing the comments, I think some people believe that I'm anti-Bitcoin. And I got to tell you, I'm anything but anti-Bitcoin. I completely believe in Bitcoin. I think it's great that people are making money. But, my analogy is you got to know what things are good for and what their purposes are and what they're not good at. And it's kind of like, and you can still be cool with that. It's kind of like having a friend that is late all the time, but he's your good friend, but he's late all the time, so he's not good for being on time. Well, I kind of see that with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I see their benefit. I see how they've created wealth for people, which is wonderful in a capitalistic society. I'm all for that. But what they are not is they are not money. And again, either is our dollar bills is not real money. You know, of course, I'm a gold and silver and hard asset, a tangible guy, so I'm going to say that. But it's just fiat. It's just fiat, and all cryptos are is just electronic fiat. Now, I get it. I understand the purpose, and I like the idea of being able to transfer money and to bypass middlemen and save money. But it's not backed by anything. But I see it as a wonderful system of transfer and keeping records of things and having, being able to transfer funds. But it's not money. It's just not money, folks, and that's my opinion. But neither is the dollar in our pocket. So anyways, oh, I said anyways. How many times have I said that today? Was it my first time? I think it was. Let's move along to the rest of the articles here. Again, nothing really, so there's no point in me going further here. I like Zero Hedge, as I always say, because it's free. Anyone can read it. And I pay for the $1 a day subscription because I don't like looking at all the ads flashing up all the time. And what do I like about Zero Hedge is they give you different opinions, different viewpoints, and different narratives from different people. Unlike corporate media, which hands you one single narrative, the one they want you to believe. Hey, and the one that they're going to profit from the most, obviously, as well. Well, let's move along here to what I was talking about in the graph a little bit earlier. Let's see the parallels here. Looks like this morning. Take a look at the dollar. Now, we were talking about the timing of when gold and silver gets monkey hammered and slammed. The timing of this, what I feel is manipulation in gold and silver markets. And look again. Same time as always. Same deal as always. Between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. Look at that dip between last night, but usually between the hours of 4 a.m. and before New York close. Look at the U.S. dollar index. Now look at the U.S. dollar index here in the opening. Boom! Way up there. Let's look at the gold line here. I'm looking at the gold continuous contract. It kind of follows the gold price pretty closely, I think. And let me look at the 1 day here. Where is the 1 day? And tell me that those two graphs don't fit together perfectly. But the dollar gets slammed up. Metals get slammed down. Is this institutional, corporations doing this, or is this governments doing this? I mean, I got to wonder, because the correlation, the Fed, who has the ability to do this to the dollar, drive the dollar up there while doing the same thing, banging gold down. Who has the availability of that information? Is that instantaneous? These charts almost always invariably have fit together perfectly over the last year. I'm just curious. Anyway, let's take a look at the monkey hammering that happened today. And I'm going to update this chart. It is below 1800 last time I looked. Let's see if it's still below 1800. Yes, monkey hammered even more. It looks like gold's down $25, even though it's really hard to get. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, so let's just talk about spot prices. And silver, I'm really surprised. I saw it at 26. There it is. 26.87 was the low this morning. Back up above 27. I just think that's because there's a lot of active buying going on in silver right now. But again, folks, avoid ETFs, avoid paper gold and silver. Whenever, wherever possible, regardless of what the premium is, buy the real stuff. And I think you'll be better off for it. I also think that will put these people that are manipulating in the market in a worse position, especially these shorts that are causing or actually manipulating these markets. Platinum actually got banged too. It was above that $1,300 mark. So all three metals banged this morning pretty good. And let's look at the range on gold, 1790 to 1826. So, oh boy. Well, anyways. My prediction is that we might see some more monkey hammering here, folks. It looks like these markets, there's no correlation between the physical markets right now and the paper markets. So I'm figuring that with premiums still as high as they are, that gold is probably really closer to that $1,900 mark still. I would bet you, if you look at the big sellers out there, I haven't looked at them yet this morning. I didn't get time to. I've been super busy. But, Eagles, gold Eagles and stuff are probably still trading at 1920, 1950 in that range. So, silver's still probably trading in the $32 to $40 range for real silver. So these paper prices, these prices that we're looking at right here, total bullshit. Anyways, don't know what else to tell you, folks. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811. 8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you with any questions you may have, or tell you what the best product of the day to buy is. Right now, currently, the most popular one out of the most popular products that are readily available, the cheapest premium is still gold maple leafs. Krugerrands are still not available on a wide scale level, and eagles, in my expensive, are still too expensive. They're still running in that 160 to 180 over spot range, maybe even higher today. So like I said, these lower spot prices and the fact that the gold premiums are so high and it's hard to find the metal, something's really screwed up out there. Well, I don't want to redo the whole show again. Thanks for watching. If anything crazy happens today, I'll do a second video. If not, I will talk to you tomorrow. Have yourself a great day and talk to you soon.